can't think of anything funny to say about Crime 101, but we saw it. Connor, what was the plot of Crime 101?
Chris Hemsworth plays a serial thief who robs from the rich in giant, expensive scams. Sort of like a Robin Hood where he doesn't kill people and he's a good guy at heart, but he just keeps the money because he was a foster kid. And then he falls in love with a girl. That's kind of a subplot. But then Halle Berry is here, and she's getting fucked over by the insurance company, so Chris Hemsworth tries to get her in on it. And Mark Ruffalo is here, and he's like a cop trying to catch Chris Hemsworth. And then Barry Keoghan is here, and he's like Chris Hemsworth, but he's a bad guy who hurts people. And then Chris Hemsworth tries to do the biggest heist of all that would net him $12 million. So Aiden, what did you think of Crime 101?
Crime 101 is perfectly adequate. It's good, but primarily for its style. It's a very nice looking movie, very well shot, very pretty, lots of creative shooting, and one exciting car chase. But it also teeters a lot on being kind of dry and routine. As far as heist movies go, this isn't some huge, bombastic, fun event movie like the Ocean's movies, or it's not nearly as silly as a Coen Brothers movie. It's played pretty straight. There's a very strong, likable cast, and the movie does kind of wear its inspirations on its sleeves. It directly calls out Steve McQueen movies, and in a conversation between Mark Ruffalo and Chris Hemsworth, who are like, yeah, I love Bullet and such other movie where he plays a gentleman thief, and it kind of feels like and has the pacing of a much older movie, even more so than like a 90s movie. It's very much like those old Steve McQueen classics, and has some little flavors of other movies, but I thought Barry Keoghan's character was a lot like kind of similar to the Ryan Gosling character from The Place Between the Pines. It's all very familiar, but it's executed well. There's nothing too surprising. You can piece together how things are going to play out for the most part. Mark Ruffalo's just playing his character from Zodiac again. It's very safe. It's a bit of maybe a little bit into the geezer teaser subgenre of action type.
It's definitely got a
movies,
foot into the geezer teaser realm,
but it's significantly better produced than the average geezer teaser.
Yeah,
and has a stronger cast, because the geezer teasers are usually carried by Liam Neeson or Jason Statham and have no one else of note on the cast. But yeah, I liked it. There's not a lot to say about it. If you want a throwbacky, low-key heist movie, it does that job well, and it doesn't exceed expectations. It just perfectly lives up to them. Connor, what'd you think of Crime 101?
my favorite part of Crime 101 is Mark Ruffalo's character arc. He's an unshakable cop who refuses to be corrupt. And then after a 20-minute conversation with Chris Hemsworth, when he's an undercover cop, he decides that maybe a little corruption would do him good. So
Just
he gives Halle Berry $6
treat.
million in stolen diamonds, lets Chris Hemsworth off scotch-free after realizing he's secretly a nice guy, threatens a victim, and for his troubles, Chris Hemsworth gives him an old-fashioned sports car.
Just a little corruption as a treat.
A little corruption. But it's okay because Mark Ruffalo earned it, and it's okay because Halle Berry earned it. This movie definitely lives in this sort of false reality where everything just kind of works out in favor of a happy ending.
Yeah.
There are a lot of pretty decent performances in the ensemble. Everybody kind of does their own thing, and then occasionally comes into the fold with Chris Hemsworth. Chris Hemsworth is like a weird autistic guy.
Yeah. He's
awkward around women and gets really uncomfortable and clingy. He acts like a real clinger. Yeah, everybody's good in it. Halle Berry, Chris Hemsworth, Mark Ruffalo, and Barry Keoghan all kind of have their own stories that are kind of loosely related to this overlining heist. They're all kind of doing their own thing, and occasionally bump into Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody's pretty good. Everybody's kind of someone in this movie. So there's this boss guy, kind of like a crime boss who takes a cut of Chris Hemsworth's money and is some sort of robbery subcontractor or something that Chris Hemsworth hires, but is also kind of the crime boss. And he's like, "I made you, boy." And I was like, is this a famous guy who got, like, throat cancer or something? Because he sounds like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. But I didn't recognize him.
I looked him up, and he was someone kind of famous.
Is he in a bunch of Steve McQueen movies or something? Was it, like, a reference to the old movies they're referencing in this movie? I'm confused. I didn't know who it was. He just sounded like Robert Kennedy, and then he kind of just disappears.
It's Nick Nolte from...
Oh.
Nick Nolte's just fucking old now.
Yeah.
From Cape Fear.
Yeah.
Hulk. He was in Hulk.
Isn't he General Ross? No, Sam Elliott.
He was Brian Banner, who's
the abusive dad.
So if you look at him when he's not 900 years old.
Yeah, I recognize Nick Nolte now. Okay, so that was somebody too. He wasn't in a ton of
Hotel Rwanda.
He wasn't in a ton of the movie. Truth be told,
2, Gangster Squad.
Okay, yeah, no, he took a turn for the worse and became Robert Kennedy Jr.
Yeah,
and I was really he looks, sounds, and acts like Robert Kennedy in this movie. He's like,
half of his Wikipedia page is about how much drunk driving and cocaine he's done.
I used to get cocaine off of toilet seats. He's just like Robert F. Kennedy.
Yeah.
Did he like fuck any bears in the park or whatever that story was? I don't know. So Nick Nolte, that's who it was. I didn't recognize him.
Yeah,
he sounded like Robert Kennedy, and I'm like, there's no way they would just hire this guy if he wasn't somebody, you know? Because he's bad. He's bad at it. Sorry, Nick. Sorry to say it, Nick.
You want to sit in my lap?
Yeah, I mean, it's shot well enough. There's some good pacing. It's mostly just kind of an interesting crime thriller. It is one of those movies that has the syndrome where it's like, we're going to hire everybody's... I think we were talking about this a bit with the Wrecking Crew. It's everybody's a Marvel actor syndrome to sell our movie.
Yep.
But the problem is, like, it's so weird. And I think everyone did a pretty good job distancing themselves from me just thinking, oh, it's Thor, oh, it's Eternals guy and Joker, oh, it's Storm, oh, it's the Hulk.
Oh, it's Catwoman.
Everybody did a good job. Oh yeah, Catwoman too. Some of them have even done 2 roles. Chris Hemsworth was also in Men in Black remake, international sequel thing.
Yeah, that was a weird.
I never saw it.
And he starred in that with another Marvel alum.
Yeah, well, that was also a Thor Ragnarok. Well, he likes working across his Thor Ragnarok alums because Tessa Thompson or whatever was in Thor Ragnarok and in Men in Black International with Chris Hemsworth. Mark Ruffalo was a major character in Thor Ragnarok and was in this movie.
That's true.
My point is, sometimes... I think a lot of these Marvel people especially are like, okay, we gotta branch out. Not that I would really consider Halle Berry or Barry Keoghan so much. They've been in those things, but they're not, like, defined by it to the point that Mark Ruffalo and Chris Hemsworth are these days. Mark Ruffalo at least had some stuff before being Hulk, though.
Yeah.
Where Chris Hemsworth came out, brought his whole family on, like, goddamn, the Skarsgårds.
Yeah.
And then... he became Thor, man. but none of them. Everybody kind of. I don't know. I was able to buy. Sometimes you're like, okay, like with Wrecking Crew, it was like, okay, it's Jason Momoa doing his Jason Momoa Aquaman shtick. Even in a movie where it isn't him as Aquaman, he's still doing the same shtick.
Yeah.
But Chris Hemsworth was doing something different here, and I thought everyone was pretty good in it for the most part. It's not the most memorable movie. It's not the best movie, but it was a fun enough way to burn an hour 45 minutes or whatever. So Aiden. Oh wait, no, it's like 2 hours and 20 minutes. It's pretty long, but it didn't feel too long. I don't remember, even though it's like over 2 hours, it didn't feel too harsh. I think it could, if it was any longer, it probably would have started probably would have started feeling it, but I think for what it was fine. So Aiden, would you recommend Crime 101?
It's a light recommend. It's good. From our description, you'd probably know if you would or wouldn't like it. I mean, it's slower paced than, it's not like Den of Thieves 2 or Fast and the Furious 10 or something. It's pretty low key, pretty chill.
Den of Thieves 2 was fucking horribly boring. Den of Thieves 2 was far more boring than this
I was
movie.
trying to think of another heist
Fast
movie.
and Furious. Hurricane Heist by the director of Fast and Furious.
But yeah, it's a perfectly good movie. It might not appeal to you. I would completely understand if it didn't, but I'm still willing to give it a light recommend. So, Connor, would you recommend Crime 101?
Yeah, I'd recommend it. I think it. Yeah, I mean, it kind of gives those vibes of like those 70s crime movies. I'm watching Badlands right now by Terrence Malick. Got like halfway through it last night. That movie is not like this, but I like old crime movies. And what I will say is, this feels like an old crime movie. So if you're fine with like a slower pace, like an Italian Job style thing, or like Ocean's 11, but more like Frank Sinatra speed. Okay, it's not that fucking boring. The first Ocean's 11 is really fucking boring.